This male protagonist would never have imagined that he would encounter the legendary dragon in the novice maze. Feeling the terrifying pressure coming from the front, his body could not make any movement except trembling, unable to take any action, and he could only watch helplessly, seeing himself being swallowed by the huge mouth of the abyss. When the Rento woke up again, he thought it was all a dream until he saw that handsome face in the water. Although he didn't want to believe it, looking at his thin body and empty eyes, the male protagonist had to accept the fact before him. He had really turned into a low-end level of the Bone King. At this time, Rento brain was in chaos. He subconsciously wanted to return to the town, but then he thought about it. What's the difference between going back like this and dying? So Rento immediately picked up the weapon and planned to survive first. Thanks to the Rento current body, he found that as long as he did not take the initiative to attack, the monsters in the dungeon would automatically ignore him. Thinking of this, he decided to try to seek help from adventurers, but only if he found a way to speak. At this moment, a skeleton of his kind suddenly appeared in front of Rento, so he decisively raised his sword to attack. Unexpectedly, the male protagonist obviously overestimated his body. When he took action, he was knocked down by his own weapon and fell to the ground. At this time, Rento was dumbfounded, but fortunately, the skeleton opposite was also a weirdo and actually broke his leg while running. The scene was very embarrassing for a time. Looking at the scene of the skeleton desperately trying to catch its legs, the male protagonist wanted to laugh but could not laugh out loud. Considering his fragile body at this time, the male protagonist suddenly thought of the power of chi he once had. Unexpectedly, he actually succeeded in this attempt. It's done! Just at this time, the opposite skeleton's legs were connected, and now it was time for evenly matched. As the skeleton died, the light flying from his body suddenly merged into Rento's body. Seeing this scene, the male protagonist suddenly thought of what his friend once told him. It is said that monsters evolve differently from humans. As long as they fight for many years, monsters will evolve into existence. Thinking of this, Rento suddenly became motivated. As long as he evolved into a ghoul, he might be able to sneak into human towns. Just do it. The male protagonist started to slaughter the same kind crazily with the weapons in his hands. Seeing that his strength had almost increased, he set his sights on the slime again. Although slimes and skeletons are both low-level monsters, but Rento did not dare to be careless at all. As soon as he comes up, he used his energy, which can only be used once a day. Perhaps it was a matter of luck, but the hero's casual sword hit the slime's core directly. Then he quickly recovered the magic stone and put the slime's body into a bottle. This liquid can make the skin smoother and is loved by many female adventurers. After a period of exploration, the male protagonist discovered that not only did he have no appetite at all, he didn't even need to sleep. So under his sleepless practice, his body has basically returned to its previous state. In addition, he also discovered that he could use magic and energy weapons, which made him both disappointed and excited. After all, he had been an adventurer for 10 years, but he had not made much progress as a skeleton for a few days. However, this matter, there is no point in thinking about it anymore. You know, in order to realize the dream of becoming a god-level adventurer, the male protagonist has been working hard to become stronger. Even if he becomes a monster now, his dream will not change at all. Thinking of this, the male protagonist practiced hard again, until he defeated another slime, and a miracle suddenly appeared. This time, the light absorbed by the male protagonist not only did not dissipate, but also transformed his body. Muscles extended from the fragile bones, and hair grew on the bald head, until the light gradually dissipated. A low roar suddenly came from the male protagonist's mouth. Feeling his newly grown body, he was finally convinced that he had evolved into a ghoul. As long as he continued to work hard, he might be able to become a more advanced vampire. That in transformation back, what's the difference between humans? Thinking of this, the male protagonist decided to try whether he could speak first. Thank you for watching. Subscribe more videos like this.